All right, welcome back, everyone. We got them. Had to get a different screwdriver, something that was a little bit longer, and in fact, it could have been about an inch longer to make this even easier. But I was able to go ahead and get that final screw out. Because of that, I was able to find the piece that I broke off. I did attempt to super glue this back together, but we'll see in a second why we're probably still not going to use this body. And it's because I screwed up again. But first, wanted to show you some of the carnage that I found while I was getting that screw out. This is a piece of glass. Assumedly something from that cover off the front filter. And I think I'm getting a better idea of what happened with this camera. So taking a look at the backside where the hinge is for the lens, there's some pretty significant marring here where it looks like it hit like concrete and did some pretty serious damage to the metal casing here. It's actually started to show some corrosion here as well. That in conjunction with the amount of corrosion that I found inside the bottom segment of this housing here really leads me to believe that this thing basically fell off of a car probably. Maybe somebody was doing some filming with it. It probably fell off at some point, hit the ground, kind of jostled around a bit, which is more than likely where the image sensor trouble came from, because that, again, is all just kind of hanging out in there. And then it was probably raining as well because of the impacts and because of the damage that was done. Lens flung off, a bunch of water got inside of it, and that's where we're seeing all of this additional corrosion. So even though I did break the piece here, and even though, as we'll see here in a second, this rubber should not have come apart. It's actually screwed in from the inside, it looks like. I've pretty much ruined two of the pieces that we were going to use this body for. So I'm still going to take this apart, and I want to see if there's anything that's salvageable within it, as well as see what the state of that flex cable is for the display, because honestly, if it's in really bad condition, we might as well just go ahead and buy another one, so I'm not doing this again in a couple of months. But instead of going ahead and tearing down the new camera and trying to put this screen on it, let's go ahead and just continue in with this, see if we can unlock some more mysteries as to what could have happened here. So here's our screw. We'll go ahead and put him off to the side. Now, I'm a little torn on whether I want to go into the screen more and just see how our backup parts are going to be, or if I want to tear down and see what this image sensor looks like, because this thing's gnarly, and I'm really interested to see what it looks like from the inside and how it broke this thoroughly, I guess. I think that that's probably going to be more fun, so I'm going to save the best for last and leave that off to the side. We're going to go ahead and focus on getting this piece out, which is going to be the screen and the ribbon cable that we need to repair the other Lumix. I did go ahead and I grabbed some Q-tips here. I've also got some additional alcohol, so 91% isopropyl alcohol. This will help to clean it out, and it evaporates really quickly, so it generally doesn't cause corrosion or issues like that. So first thing first, we're going to go ahead and start taking some of these flex ribbon cables out. I don't want to start pulling things off until I know that we've at least got things disconnected in here so I don't accidentally drop something. So for that, we're just going to get one of our spudgers underneath the backside of this connector. It kind of flips up, and then from there we can go ahead and just pull it right out of its connector. So far, none of these have really had any serious damage, no liquid damage or anything like that. And if I zoom in on this one, you'll see more of the same. Again, no damage to the connector, so it doesn't look like liquid really got far in here. Maybe some came from the top, or again, if this did in fact fall with the sensor face up like this, some could have gotten in here and kind of sloshed around, but right now the main board seems like it might be in okay condition, which means I might be able to recoup some of the cost that I spent on this. All right, so we've got some additional connectors here, and these are a little funky. They don't actually have a retaining clip like I'm used to seeing. So I don't want to just pull them out. You just pull them out, and that's how you break things. But that might be how these actually work. I'm not seeing any obvious way. Okay, yep, these do just pull straight out here. Oops, and that wasn't in focus, so I will show you down on this one right here. So this little guy, you just kind of put your tweezers on either side of him, and I just kind of jiggle back and forth, and it pulls right out. Doesn't appear to have damaged any of the pins, so I'm pretty sure that's how that's supposed to come out. I'll take a better look here in a second just to be sure. All right, so we've got this guy out, that guy out. This up here is the one that I took out off camera accidentally. All right, so we've got a couple more here. Our main ribbon cable looks like this connects to kind of the main board. Let's get a plastic piece in there so I don't mess or mar up this board any more than necessary. This one doesn't want to come out. Usually these flip up a little easier. There we go. That one was really held in there. I do sometimes like to break these plastics because they can be pretty brittle. Luckily, it looks like Lumix, or Panasonic rather, used some pretty decent plastics. So there's one of our flex cables. So this is going to be connecting the, probably the EVF. I would assume this is some kind of, yeah, that's probably a control board for the EVF, because I see a cable that wraps around here and comes right into the EVF, and then this interfaces with the main camera body. So this is just going to be kind of like a daughter board for the EVF itself. I am going to attempt to not take this cable out. I might end up needing to, but I think that I can get this and the EVF out all in one piece. So we will go ahead and turn our focus to the last couple cables here. So we've got one underneath this ribbon cable, and this, I believe, is going to be our screen cable. So this is, again, the really important one, the one we really don't want to mess up. So let me go ahead, and I've pulled that latch up. These cables can be a little fragile if they've been in use for a long time, gone through a bunch of heat cycles. And this one is not immediately wanting to pull out of that connector. There we go, it's coming. There we go. All right. So we know the screen works. There's really no sense in worrying about seeing if this connector has any damage to it, because it works, it shouldn't. And yeah, that's confirmed. So no damage. Good so far. So now I think we're ready to go ahead and start working on some of these screws. So the thing that I'm most wanting to see if it's okay is over in this area. This is where the screen hinge lives. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. I think I can get to all of this without needing to disassemble any other pieces of the camera. So we'll go ahead and tackle this right up top here. All right, as soon as I pulled this screw out, there's a chunk off of the front, or rather the rear, that just came out as well. So this is actually part of the hinge. So that was a screw that holds in the hinge cover. So that's good to know. This is actually, this piece is plastic, which is rare on this camera. We do have some corrosion on this screw. Not something I'm excited to see. There you go. We know we've had some bad luck, but it doesn't look as bad as the other one, so hopefully not. I've got a good feeling that the second screw here, let me go ahead and put my screw away. Got a good feeling that the second screw is going to take off the other part of the hinge cover. And I heard it fall out, so that is confirmed. And those are some nice stainless screws. So there's the other part of the hinge cover. We'll go ahead and pop that up here. Let's move our ribbon cable and our shard of glass. All right, so now it looks like we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4 additional black Phillips screws to take out, and that should allow us to pull this piece up and then actually see what our ribbon cable looks like. All right, so it was actually a good call disconnecting that connector because it was attached. There's some adhesive, or actually not adhesive, just regular foam on the back here. That's meant for some waterproofing. You can see where it interfaces with some additional foam here. And that was holding on to that ribbon cable. All right, so that's our cable. So at this point we have access to these hinge screws, but I don't have access to the other side of that ribbon cable. I've got to get access to the inside of this screen to get that ribbon cable disconnected. Now, I already started this earlier. I got a fingernail in here and I was able to pry up a little bit. And you guys can't see this, I'm sorry, but it is apparently seemingly rather opening up. And then I let it go and it bounced back. So let's try that again. I might need to use multiple clips in here. So we're doing good so far. I'm pretty sure it's just a few more clips on this side, and yep, it was. Beautiful. That's why you don't ever assume that it's all just in one piece. What are you? All right, so the screen is also weather sealed. You can see a blue, faint blue here, and that is actually some sealing that is meant to keep the screen water free. Those screws that I took out earlier actually held the frame together here, so let's first... Oh geez, I'm gonna break this. Okay, let's take this ribbon cable off so that we can work with this separately. Okay. Whew. Well, what I'm looking at here is on the back side of the screen, there is a little ribbon cable that goes to what appears to just be a magnetic sensor of some sort. And the screen itself looks good. There's no water damage in here. It doesn't look like there was any ingress in here. It looks like it's just beat up from the outside a little bit. So I believe the screen assembly, unless I've messed it up just now, is actually going to be okay. So let's set that off to the side here and see what we can do about this ribbon cable. Okay, that is a really, really stuck screw. We've got some, again, corrosion causing some issues here. And I also don't want to put a lot of pressure on the back of any PCBs or like the EVF. Oof. All right, she is stuck. Oh, that's not good.
Are we really doing this again?
All right, so I'm assuming that this body is, it looks like magnesium. It's either magnesium or aluminum. It is a relatively lightweight. It sounds like magnesium. It doesn't sound like aluminum. That's a weird thing to say, but magnesium and assumedly whatever they use for the screw don't seem to be liking each other in the presence of salt water. So because of that, they do appear to have seized themselves into this body, which is making this oh so fun.
I'm starting to think you don't even know what that means.
Come on, I need you to come out. Please, please. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Is it? No, it's not. It's not good. It broke. Okay, so I stripped that one. Let's see if we can strip this one. 2 for 2? 2 for 2! Okay, this one feels like it's coming out, which is weird because it's the more corroded one. Yes, it is. It's coming out. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? They had some blue thread locker on that one. That's the first time I've seen blue in this camera. I'm trying to think. I want to say that red is temporary and blue is permanent.
It's red and blue.
Thread locker, which makes a lot of sense for this guy. Okay, sorry. Had to take it off camera to get that because that was really, really in there. So I'm not sure if this was corrosion or if it's just that blue thread locker being super serial.
I'm super serial.
It's probably the blue thread locker. It makes sense. You don't want your screens coming off. So yeah, I will make sure to put some additional blue thread locker on there when I put this back together because I do actually have some right over there. And it does appear that this panel here will pop out. I don't want to destroy it now that I've got it this far, so we're going to be gentle but firm. Yeah, that does pop out beautifully. So this again, part of the waterproofing, they probably seal this in here, or it's, I guess, possible that maybe just the weather sealing itself has caused an issue where it has decided to seal itself in here. So yeah, it's out now. That's good. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, it just popped right on out there. So yep, that's got a little bit of a gap inside there so that you can fit the cable in and out. But of course you can't do that until it's popped out. So here is our ribbon cable for the camera. More than likely, this is our culprit. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this piece up a little bit. We'll set it off to the side and we'll do some additional investigatory work on this camera to see if there's anything else that we might be able to salvage from it. All right, okay, stop. Nope, let's not go any further. Stop. All right, so at this point, you all have seen what you came to see. Were we able to extract the parts out of the camera from Japan? We absolutely were. Now, I thought about giving you a choose your own adventure option here, but I'll be honest, the algorithm's not going to be kind to me if I put up a 3-hour-long video. And that's how much more footage I have of completely dissecting this camera, as well as then moving the parts over to the new camera. You've already seen me take this apart once, at least to this scale. So it didn't make much sense for me to include putting the parts back into the new camera because it's going to be the same, just with less corrosion and less stuff to look at, frankly. So at this point, I wanted to just go ahead and level set with you on what we were able to achieve by disassembling the Japanese camera, and go ahead and provide you some details on what we were able to get with the other camera. So long story short, as far as parts coming out of the Japanese camera, there's not a lot. We do have this body, which technically is in usable condition, but with the amount of corrosion in here and with the amount of just jank, I don't think I would want to sell this on. Maybe one day I'll come across a really, really beat up GH5 that needs a new body, and maybe I can revisit this. But for now, this is just going to be a keepsake. There's a couple of little miscellaneous parts, such as the battery connector, that are in good condition. They usually fetch about 15 to 20 bucks on eBay. Might be something that I go ahead and delve into or throw on that channel. More than likely just going to go ahead and hold on to these for parts in case I come across another good deal on a GH5 later on. Spoilers. We do also have some of the body rubbers left over. Of course, these weren't in like new condition, and they're not that expensive. You can get an entire set for about 50 bucks from AliExpress. And these do have some wear on them. They've got some pieces that are torn off. Again, kind of trash. As far as parts that are potentially worth something, we had 3. So our electronic viewfinder out of the Japanese camera was so high up on the body that it wasn't impacted by the water damage that I saw, and I truly believe that this is a working part. Unfortunately, I don't have any comparables online. Nobody seems to sell this part. Usually, if this is something that goes bad, you send your camera back to Lumix. They charge you $500 or $600. They'll go ahead and fix the issues for you. So I don't even know what to ask for something like this. And because I haven't tested it, I would really only be putting it up for parts. So I might put a ridiculous price on it, throw it on eBay, and let it sit there for a while to see if anybody actually does need this. Or again, maybe I'll just hold on to it for future projects. Now, the main board from the camera, again, was in great condition. There was very, very little corrosion just right down on the bottom near one of the screw holes, but it didn't go any further up, didn't touch any of the chips, and as far as I know, this board works. We were able to get an output on the old camera. Of course, the shutter didn't work, but the camera recognized the shutter didn't work, and it immediately went into that fail-safe mode. So I do believe that this is going to be a functional part, which is really good news because the main boards for these cameras go for about $300 to $400. I'd go ahead and cut the difference and put it up for 300 bucks and be more than happy. That in conjunction with the working screen that we have, if I can get a ribbon cable and put the hinge together, this is worth about $150 on its own. So these two items on by themselves, just selling them for parts, is gonna pay for both of the cameras and give me some extra money in my pocket. Not a bad gig. Now, you're obviously going to be asking, what about the other GH5? I don't see it on the table. Well, that's because you're viewing me through it right now. I was able to go ahead and not only get the new parts into the camera, but like I said, they were only about 50 bucks for new rubbers. So I went ahead and got all new rubbers for it as well. I've already installed those. I did that part off camera and maybe I'll throw it up in a time lapse later on. But ultimately it's not very interesting. It's stuff you've already seen, so it didn't make sense to me to include it in this video. If you do want to see a long cut of the about hour-and-a-half footage of disassembling the other camera and then the other hour or so of disassembling and reassembling the US camera, by all means, go ahead and leave me a comment. Maybe I'll throw up a private video link so that those of you that do want to see it can see it without messing up the algorithm too much and throwing everybody off of the channel. For now though, let's take a look and see what the GH5 looks like. Obviously I can't film you from this side, so let's go top down and we'll see what the like new GH5 is. All right, welcome back to the workbench, everyone. So here it is. This is our officially fully working and looking the part as well, GH5. So I do have it plugged in to our dummy battery, and if I go ahead and power her on here, oh, we got to rotate the lens to actually pop it out there, but yeah, you'll see we now do have a screen back here. So I'll go ahead and flip this out so you all can see as well. We are now fully functioning. And like I said, you've actually seen the last 2 intros, as well as what we just shot a few moments ago has all been shot on this GH5. So it does appear to be working fantastically. It did, unfortunately, at least for my part, require that I upgrade the software that I was using because, again, this does shoot that full 10-bit color, which gives us a lot to work with when it comes to the amount of data that the camera actually captures. So yeah, this is what we're working with. Again, it really looks fantastic all around. There's a little bit of scratching on the bottom still. I mean, the metal we can't repaint, or rather we could, but it just really wouldn't do much good. I do need to go ahead and get a replacement cover for our EVF here. There's usually a little bit of a hood that goes over this to kind of block out some of the light when you put your eye up to it. Those are just a couple of bucks online, so I've already got one of those on order. You'll see here that I do have the battery, the extended battery rather, on the bottom here. This component allows you to run 2 separate batteries. It also allows you to take vertical orientation pictures because you now have a shutter button right up top here. So nifty little thing that I picked up for about 15 bucks. Didn't look like anybody really wanted it. They usually go for about 100, but this one I got lucky with on eBay. So I went ahead and picked it up so that I would have the option to run multiple batteries if I don't have that dummy, maybe if I'm running and gunning or working on a external shoot. So again, fully working camera here. I am going to go ahead and cut back in to the point where we did finally see this turn on for the first time, so you can all kind of enjoy that with me. But yeah, for now, this is going to be the end of our GH5 series, at least with this camera. Again, if you have seen the spoiler that came up through one of my posts, you'll know that I already bought another one of these that is in, from what the guy said, not working condition. I'll have to read you out the listing. It was pretty funny, but when we get into that video, if we get into that video, we'll revisit that. Other than that, thanks for sticking in with us, Herd. I'll go ahead and cut back into the original video so you can join in with the elation as we discover that this camera is working. And I will see you back here next week where we'll be starting a new project up.
Transition.
All right, so I currently have the screen connected to the back body connected to the front body. We don't have the EVF plugged in, but again, I'm not too worried about that. I'm gonna flip this over as one full assembly, which will do 2 things for me. It's one, gonna allow me to set this down face up so that I can now see the screen. And I'll move it up a little bit so we can see it together. Risking my cable for you guys. All right, so we've got that. Now I just need to open up our flap, find out what I did with our dummy battery. There it is. It's still plugged in actually, so I can just go ahead and pop this guy right in there. Open up the flap on the front so the cord will close, because without this door closed, the camera will not turn on. Well, we're putting some stress on this cable. I don't like it. I don't like it. You guys probably saw that. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Please don't blow up. Okay, we got a green. Oh, yes. Y'all can see that. Current focal length setting 35, change. Oh, the touchscreen works too. Oh my goodness. We got a working camera. Whew. Okay, I still haven't actually tested the SD card to see if it works. That's going to be really, really disappointing if it doesn't at this point, but I'm happy. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and we're going to turn it off. We get the Lumix logo. Beautiful. I absolutely love it. All right, let's pop this guy open. I hope that at least one of you stuck with me through this whole thing, because I got a feeling by now we're probably into at least episode 3. So again, appreciate it. If you're liking the content, let me know. Leave me a like. Help that algorithm. All right, I'm going to go ahead and as gently as possible, and I'm sorry I'm not showing this to you, but again, I don't want to rip these now that I know it works. I'm separating the back camera from the front of the camera. Oh, that's sketchy. And now I'm going to separate the screen, and we're going to assemble this the proper way and not do any more of this sketchy stuff.
1 hour later.
All right, so I've got the camera put back together with no screws. So again, we're not kind of fully functioning here, but I just want to see if what we did actually works still after undoing it and redoing it. All right. Screen out. Let y'all get the first view here. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to see. So I will go ahead and, it says current focal length setting 35 millimeters. Do you want to change that? Yeah, let's change that, but we're going to change it by putting a lens on. Red to red. All right, so now that we've got a lens on here, oh yeah, there we go. Look, you all can see the front of the warehouse, and we are getting focus. So sorry that screen's smudgy because I was just using it, but that's a beautiful sight to behold. I've got access to all of the functions through this touchscreen. Let's go ahead and put you on a manual focus. There we go. Yeah, focus peaking looks to be on. Everything's functioning. It's working. Yeah, even completely backwards. Oh, we're upside down now. Ah! But yeah, that's amazing. We, again, apparently have a fully working camera. Again, about a $600 camera on the used market. And I paid $190 for it. So, good deal. Thanks guys for following me along. The next video that you see from me will be in 4K higher resolution instead of that crummy 1080p that we were dealing with before. So hopefully you're able to look forward to some of these future projects coming up. And I will see you all next week here at Faux Rhino. That's so cool. That's so cool.